do the hacking tooth puzzle. Oh, 'cause I might as well get it out of the way. Time to make some copious notes. I think all of the puzzles in this book, except the pirates, I just despise. There are so many puzzles in this game that I really do not enjoy doing, and most of them come right out of this book. Exactly midday. Time will be in 3 hours have passed. Move ahead 2 hours more. 9 hours before. I can't do math, I'm gay. And a fine arts major. Part 2? Oh my god, it's so long as well. Please. Part 3. Oh, I messed up. Okay. Now let's go on to another thrilling puzzle. Good, I just got more eyeballs from doing that. My favorite thing to find in this game. Oh, crumbs, and I have to do that other book decimal puzzle nonsense. I think I can open the chest in Renee's room, though. Maybe I'll do that. That sounds a lot more appetizing to me right now. And not just because I can have a Cocoa Kringle while I'm here.
Yum. Gosh, these things are good.
Gosh. I prefer the older Nancy games because it's not just non-stop puzzling. Like, this is a lot for my tiny little brain to handle. I think my brain is going to combust from all this puzzling. Ah! Ah! Yay! More puzzle! I wish it was more Cocoa Kringles. Delicious, delicious Cocoa Kringles. I think Nancy needs some chocolate to sustain herself through all this puzzling. I certainly do. I wish I was having a big Cocoa Kringle bar right at this moment. Bazaloo. Oh, maybe I should be saying it out loud. She did warn against that old Renee. Okay, I think I've written it down right. We'll just have to pray. I can't remember if I can get back into the secret room from here. No. Okay. Okay, where's that horrible ventriloquist dummy that's probably gonna come alive and murder Nancy with its bare hands? Its bare puppet hands. I don't know why I couldn't just take it out of its own little eye. The last... Oh, okay, this is one of the actual only good puzzles in the game. Thank God it came just in my time of need. Did Bruno Boulet actually wear all these eyes? Because a lot of them are really strange. I mean, granted, he was a strange person, but did he just go out to do his grocery shopping with, like, a little radioactive symbol eye? A lizard eye? Like, is he actually going out and doing that? Because you know he has to buy some sort of groceries. Because they don't have a kitchen. Buying lots of, like, sandwiches, pre-made sandwiches, and such. Soup that you can eat cold. The last denizen buried on my guard will start you a-huntin' through the graveyard. What's written on the headstone will lead you to another, and so on and so forth, till tiny treasure you discover. Okay, the first one should be easy. Tammy Tasselman in Terra Siesta. Tasselman Tammy. Born on Christmas, died on Halloween. Couldn't sleep without a peep. So when she died, we buried her deep. Did Nancy write that down? I think so. Yes. Okay. I already know who it is. It's Constance Noring. Absolute icon, Constance Noring. Can't wait till I get to do my favorite one, Polyester Givens. There's some truly iconic names in this game. When she died, we buried her deep. That's so heartless. I'd imagine, like, burying people and just using their gravestone as a little puzzle? Like, that's a bit disrespectful of the dead, don't you think? Like, even the names that you don't use for this puzzle are great. Betty Barnchaser. I would love to be named Betty Barnchaser. Connie Chuckle, Rose Winterspring, such a self-insert fanfic name. There she is, Constant Snoring and Crowing Crips. It'd be really cool if they'd done like a little creepy, ghostly sound cue of someone snoring when you find her. Constant Snoring, never early, never late. Some of these I forget. It must be like Ray on time. They've definitely got a better name than that. Okay, here comes the fun business of just reading out every single name, trying to decide which is the right one. Sandy Near. Like, sometimes I read them out and I'm like, wait, that sounds like it could be something. But is it? Is the important question. Because a lot of them you do actually have to read out for it to click in your head. And sometimes even then you gotta repeat it a few times, like Derek Lincoln. Derek Lincoln. Derek Lincoln. And then it comes to you, although that one's not a good example. Bert Clyde, Walt Sky, Ulysses Tennyson, Bud Travers, Leslie Red, Caesar Percy, London Darby Fletcher, Elwyn Sherlock Lavelle, Doug Carroll, Oliver Shaw, Charlie Wicker, Bart Stevens, Derek Grant, Michael Stevens, Van Wilson, Darrell Wilson, Daniel Wilson, Steve Smith, Buck Murray, Danny Errol, Felix Octavio, Norris Stephan, Gabriel Rock. Just in time! Just in time! That's why this one is so good. It feels amazing when you actually figure it out and you're like, ah! Ah! All dressed up with no place to go. Mannequin, perhaps? It could also be Polyester Givens. I just want it to be Polyester Givens because I love that name so much. I don't think I could ever think of a better name than that. Like, that is the ultimate name. Died in Debt. This is another one that I don't know off the top of my head. Died in Debt. Owen something, probably. Right? That makes sense. Owen Much. Owen Lots. I don't... I'm just trying to make one up now. Let me look for someone named Owen. Maybe Betty Barnchaser was heavily in debt when she died. I'm not to know. There, Owen Moore! Owen Moore! Ah, I like Owen Much better. Owen Lots. A stand-up person. It's something kneeling, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Sandy Near. What happened to Sandy Far? Ha ha ha. Kneel down! Kneel down! It must have been so much fun for the developers to make up all these little puns. Kneel down.
Let's hope Neil is lying down by now.
Oh ho ho, Nancy, I love your dark humor. All that's left me are these old bones, my remains. Imagine if your parents actually named you an intentional pun name. How would you feel about it? You'd probably resent them for it. Unless your name was My Remains, which is pretty fucking metal. Henry Boulay wishes his name was My Remains.
That can't be right.
What do you mean it can't be right? Oh, My Remains with... Oh my god. I mean, it is right, Nancy.
Bingo.
You need spell check on your piece of paper. Bloomed too late, pruned too early. Oh... I don't remember this one either. Bloomed too late, pruned too early. I don't even have a guess about that one. Is it Rose Winter Spring?
Smells right to me.
It is! The ultimate fanfic name. That's not even a good pun. She would have given you the shirt off her back! Polyester Givens! Surely that's Polyester Givens. Oh, it's gotta be Polyester Givens, because she would Givens you her polyester shirt.
Hopefully this will Givens me a clue.
Nancy, no! Oh, that gave me heartburn, that pun. Same name as my dog at 10. Moved from his grave and buried again. What does it mean?
Do you think I could borrow your keychain? The one that has Bruno's glass eye on it?
You want to borrow it? What for?
Actually,
Craft
all I
project?
really want is the eye. I mean, it's just so cool.
Oh, Nancy.
I won't. I'll be really careful. I promise.
Is it really
I
that
don't think I want to take that
beloved?
chance.
Like,
Sorry.
your uncle, great uncle, had like 50 eyes. Why is that one so special? Just because he died wearing it?
The box of your great uncle's things that you sold to Zeke's curio shop. That was a no-no, wasn't it?
What box of things? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, Henry. That might work on other people, but it won't work on Nancy.
I checked out that half-burned receipt from Zeke's that I found in the fireplace.
Well, somebody screwed up somewhere because I haven't sold anything to anybody. Why would I sell one lousy box of stuff when I'm about to inherit a whole house full of stuff? Get real.
Okay, maybe he's
You
telling
sold
the
it
truth.
because you needed some quick cash in order to keep Summer happy, didn't you?
How do you know about her?
Playing detective
There
is
we
actually
go.
more than a hobby with me.
Asking the
I could
uncomfortable
make a
questions.
lot of trouble for you, Henry. But if you come clean,
Classic
tell me
Nancy.
about Summer.
She's this girl I'm in love with. I think she loves me back, but she's so unpredictable it drives me nuts.
I don't think she does. She's using you, Henry. Break up with her.
You argue a lot?
You deserve so
All
much
the
better.
time, mostly over how schizoid she is. I mean, I never
Okay,
knew what's
maybe
gonna make me-
Henry is part of the problem.
Like, just before I left, I took practically every bit of cash I had and bought her a bunch of CDs. You know, to keep her occupied while I was gone, right? Well, soon as I get here, she calls and says her sound system just went bluey, and I had to buy her a new one. Because what good
Bluey.
were the CDs I bought her if she couldn't play them?
I might have to look
So
that
then
one
I-
up in the
So then
dictionary,
you threw
Henry.
a bunch of Bruno's things into a box and sold it to that curio shop.
Yeah. I wired her the money, but then she called and said she also needed new headphones. Next call, it was new speakers. And now she expects me to buy her a flat-screen TV. When I try to talk to her about always wanting more like that, she gets really mad. But I'm afraid if I don't give her what she wants, I'm afraid she'll dump me. And I couldn't take that. I mean, she's the only girlfriend I've ever had.
Okay, then you can definitely do
Real
better.
bad.
There are other fish in the sea who will
Look,
treat you
you
right.
don't
I can't just ignore what you did, Henry.
I know. You still want the glass eye? Take it. Go ahead. It's all yours.
Oh,
You
he's
want
bribing
something,
me
I want
now.
something, take it.
You're in
You
even
want
more
it.
trouble, mister.
Well, it's not like you sold off half the estate or anything.
$300. That's all I've gotten out of his estate. I swear. Go on, take it.
This is what he was wearing when he died, so he does wear, like, the weird eyes on the regular.
I was not.
What a strange
From
man.
now
I kind
on,
of
I'll be
admire
nice,
it. I
promise.
wish we had got to meet him.
Do you know anything about the crystal skull that was in that box of junk you sold to Zeke's?
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I just totally glazed over the fact that he said he
You
was
sure?
this naughty.
It would have been inside another box.
I'm
Well,
sorry,
I did throw
sir.
in some slugs that I
Nancy's
was just
not
grabbing.
equipped
Was
to
it
handle your
valuable?
kinks right now.
All I really know for sure right now is that it's missing.
Great. Be just my luck to have sold something that wasn't junk to that glorified trash collector.
Do you by any chance know the name of Bruno's dog?
He had a dog? That's news to me. In other words, no, I sure don't.
I'll check back with you later.
Whatever.
Okay, I think Bess has some business now to attend to. Nancy is going to use Bess, much like how Summer uses Henry. Cinematic parallels. And Nancy has, like,
Hi,
no
Bess, it's me.
self-awareness about it either.
Well, let's see. Since the last time we talked, I was just about getting ready.
Huh?
Interesting stuff.
But the reason I called is, I need you to talk to this doctor named Gilbert Buford, who, as it turns out, likes to hang out at a gumbo stand called Granny Pumpkin's Cajun Cookin', which should be right across from our hotel.
You just want me to talk to him? That's it? Nothing nefarious? No black ops stuff?
He was Bruno Bellay's doctor, and apparently his best friend, too. I just need for you to see if he thinks there was anything weird about the way Bruno died.
What do you mean by weird?
I mean, I kind of think maybe Bruno was murdered.
Da, da, da.
By whom?
That's
Lightning, thunder,
Everyone suspected this.
organ music.
Including this Gilbert Buford guy?
Well,
Great, I'm gonna be chatting up Jack the Ripper.
oh, I'm sure the guy's fine, but be subtle, just in case.
Well, I can see the gumbo stand from our balcony. If he's the guy that's sitting down there, I guess he looks harmless.
Oh, Bess, you
Okay,
should
I'll
know
go
that
talk
all
to
the
him.
greatest
Thanks,
serial
Bess.
killers
Let me
just
know
look
what
like
happens.
normal people. They don't have evil mustaches or anything. Nancy's gonna get Bess killed one of these days. Let's have some fortifying gumbo. When I have a secret weapon, I could breathe fire into his face if he gets a little cheeky.
Why, hello, young lady. How kind of you to grace an old man with your lovely presence.
Get away from me, slime ball.
Are you Dr. Gilbert?
Bess, don't
I'm
giggle
gonna
at
have
him.
to report
He's
that
being
I am
creepy. He's old enough to be your grandfather.
Your answering service said I'd probably find you here.
This here is my favorite spot in the whole city. Delicious gumbo, pleasing view, particularly now, I might add.
My name's
Stop
Bess Martin.
giggling at
I'd like to
this,
ask you some
Bess.
questions
It's
about
problematic.
if that's okay.
Go home to
I prefer
River Heights
something
and
matter
put a
of
restraining
happy
order up
nature,
against this
but I
man.
do not want to seem inhospitable, so what is it you want to know?
Is there any doubt in your mind as to how Dr. Bolet died?
He died of a myocardial infarction. Dying of a heart attack is all too common for people who are socially isolated. And Bruno Bolet had most certainly become
The way he
that.
keeps tapping his
thought
fingers
Bruno
against the
Bolet was your best
table
friend.
is
Well,
quite
now, I was
sinister.
certainly his best friend, but I cannot honestly say that he was mine. Fact is, while socializing with my fellow man, particularly with pretty young women such as
Stop!
has always been a source of pleasure for me, Bruno was just the opposite. Unfortunately, the older he got, the more numerous his idiosyncrasies became, and the less concern about their negative effect upon others he became.
Like all his weird glass eyes that he wore in public.
Did they do an autopsy on Dr. Bolet?
No. Given Bruno's advanced age and the absence of any indication of foul play, an autopsy was deemed unnecessary, and the body was cremated according to Bruno's wishes.
Ah, now we can't even dig it up to re-examine it. That's always the most exciting part of any crime drama, when they have to do that.
I hear that you're a member of the Jolly Rogers crew. Is that true?
Perhaps I am, perhaps I am not. I'm sure someone as charming and attractive as yourself has her share of secrets too. Am I right?
Just what is a crew?
Is it a
Crews
cult?
are organizations whose primary purpose is to put on parades during Mardi Gras. They also put on fabulous parties. Very private parties. Members only. Some consider crews to be private clubs. Secret societies is a term others have used. However, back in the 1990s, the city decided not to issue the Jolly Rogers any more parade permits, unless they opened their crew to pretty much anyone who wanted to join. So, refusing to be blackmailed, they chose instead to simply not put on parades anymore. As far as the city is concerned, the Jolly Rogers no longer exist.
So the skeletons are elitist pricks. That's good to know.
Was Bruno Bolet a Jolly Roger too?
Perhaps. Perhaps not.
Very helpful.
Did Dr. Bolet ever say anything to you about owning a crystal skull?
Why, yes. Yes, he did. In fact, he showed it to me once. Said it had magical powers. Said owning it was going to allow him to live forever. I thought it was utter nonsense and told him so. Well, he didn't appreciate that at all. Refused to talk to me for a full 2 weeks.
Do you have any idea where he kept it?
No. He was terrified that someone would steal it from him, so he told no one its location. Not even me.
Well, seems
Tell
like
me,
those
Miss
fears were
What
justified.
do you know about that crystal skull?
This friend of mine, who is also a friend of Henry Bolet, you know, Dr. Bolet's great nephew. Anyway, while she was visiting Henry, she saw this book in Bruno's library about the legendary crystal skulls and was kind of intrigued and thought that since Henry said that you were pretty much Bruno's only friend, maybe Bruno had said something to you about it, and as it turns out, he had. That's all I know.
I see. Well, much as I'd like to believe that skull holds the key to immortality, I'm afraid Bruno's passing proves it's worthless. Although it would make an attractive paperweight, as I recall. Tell your friend not to give it another thought.
Where was Dr. Bolet when he had his MI?
In the foyer of his house, just inside the front door. In fact, I hadn't seen him for a while, so I picked that day. I walked up
So
to the
he
front
was at the
door,
scene of the
found it
crime,
unlocked
huh?
as usual.
And you're a
Opened it,
doctor? That's pretty
and there he
fucking
was,
suspicious if you
lying
ask
on the
me.
floor in obvious distress. The next thing I
He
know,
could just be
his
like, oh yeah, it was a
housekeeper
heart
came
attack,
running
definitely
in
not
and started
murder.
shouting.
No
I
one would
sent
know
her
any
out of the
better.
room so she could summon an ambulance, and I could once again hear myself think. Then well, let's see. Then I knelt down and saw that he wasn't breathing. So I pulled him away from the doorway so I'd have more room to work on him and began chest compressions. I continued until the medics
This question is
arrived
so
and
dumb. You don't
Was
choose
Dr. Boulay unconscious
where you
the
have a
whole
heart
time?
attack.
Yes, he was.
It's like, oh yeah, I
Do you
think I'll
remember
have my
anything
heart
that might
attack in the
indicate what he
kitchen.
was doing
Gets
by
the
front
best
door?
light.
I mean, had he just come in from a walk? Was he wearing a hat? Was he holding anything? Had he dropped something? An umbrella? Sunglasses?
Wait a minute. Why, yes, he was holding something. A piece of paper. And on the floor next to him was an envelope. He must have collapsed while reading a letter.
Do you know what happened to it?
Now, I know the letter was no longer in Bruno's hand when the paramedics arrived, so perhaps he released the letter when I moved him. And yet, I do not recall seeing it on the floor when they wheeled him out the door.
Maybe because it was in your pocket.
What's Icky?
Iggy. Iggy is an iguana Bruno befriended, then turned loose in his home. It soon developed the annoying habit of stealing paper and stockpiling it in the vent system.
Did you see Iggy while you were tending to Bruno that day?
No, but then I rarely ever saw Iggy. Moreover, it would not have been the first time a missing document ended up in Iggy's possession. Renee would periodically call me saying the lizard had absconded with one of Bruno's prescriptions and would I please write her up a replacement.
That's kind of
any
suspicious.
Bruno once told me he was training Iggy. Said he taught Iggy to retrieve the things it had stolen.
Do you think it's possible that Renee
Yeah,
caused
that's
Dr.
what
Boulez's
I'm
death by, say,
wondering.
hoarding the pills from those missing prescriptions and giving them to him all at once?
No. Had he died of an overdose of the medications I had prescribed, the manner of his death would have been quite different. But he died of a heart attack. Of that, I am
Well,
certain.
you would say that. I have no other choice than to believe you because you're the doctor.
Involved in the practice of hoodoo. And as Bruno's housekeeper, she had ample opportunity to use it against my poor old friend.
You're not serious.
Young lady, never, ever underestimate the power of suggestion. If a person believes in something, even on a subconscious level, fantasy can easily become fact. And who knows what rubbish Renee filled Bruno's mind with? Drink this, don't eat that. This brings good luck, that brings bad, day in and day out. Even if he said he didn't believe a word of it, who knows how much his subconscious was absorbing? He was very old and vulnerable. So could Renee have caused Bruno to have that fatal heart attack? There's not a doubt in my mind she could indeed.
There's not a
Thanks
doubt
for
in
your
my
time.
mind that you
I've
could have
enjoyed our
murdered
conversation
Bruno.
immensely.
Oh, I hate him so much. He can't go 5 minutes without making a pass at Bess. Oh, Lamont, you're still alive. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. It could have been some manslaughter. Nancy would have caused Bess to go to jail. What a great friend.
That gumbo stand outside? What do you think? Is it pretty authentic?
Outstanding! Just watch the hot sauce. Whatever's in it gives my stomach instant fits.
In all your journeys through the wonderful world of junk, have you ever come across one of those legendary crystal skulls?
What makes you ask that?
You have so many other oddities in here, I was just wondering.
No. I know the legend, of course, and I sure wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of those babies. I mean, I could sell it for a fortune. But no such luck. Funny. I've been thinking about those skulls lately. A lot.
Really? Hey, maybe we got some kind of psychic thing going here. Quick, think of a number between 1 and 10 and I'll try to guess it. You thinking of a number? Okay, 4.
9.
Darn. Guess it was just a coincidence.
Guess so.
I think I'll look around some more.
Enjoy.
I think I have to give him some gumbo with hot sauce on it. Bess's whole part in this game is just relentlessly torturing Lamont. Okay, well maybe I'm not supposed to do that yet. Maybe I just call Nancy and be like, hey Nancy, that man's really creepy to me. Can you come by and pick me up, please?
Hello?
I'm scared.
Bless you. Oops. Looks like Dr. Buford decided he's had enough gumbo.
He's not at Granny Pumpkin's anymore?
Nope. But here's what else I've learned since I talked to you last.
He's probably waiting in Bess's hotel room. Like an
And that's
absolute
all she
creep.
wrote.
Here, Iggy, Iggy, Iggy.
Have a kumquat. Oh, what shall we dress him up as? Oh, little clown. That's my clown noise, if you couldn't tell. Look at him! Iggy, I love you! Go forth, my son. Oh, nothing happened. I thought he'd bring me something. Maybe I have to get him to dress as the postman so he can deliver me a letter? I forget how it works. Let me get another kumquat. Why can't Nancy take more than one at a time? She's got 16 glass eyes in her pockets. Maybe that just doesn't leave room for any more kumquats. Oh, look, Iggy, you're a little mailman. Go fetch me a letter, boy. Are you gonna bring me a little letter? Deliver one to your best friend, Nancy. Aha! Dear Dr. Boulay, I've completed my review of the data gleaned from the tests I ran last Tuesday on the crystalline replica of the human skull, which you and Ms. Amand brought in. What follows is a simple answer regarding its authenticity, which the two of you requested. The analysis shows that the skull, while made of remarkably pure crystal, was carved using modern instruments. In layman's terms, the skull is a fake! So perhaps that is the letter which caused him to have a heart attack. He was so stunned that his skull was a fake that he dropped down and died. I don't believe that, though. I believe that he was murdered. That's what I choose to believe. Stay down, you fuckers! Just another thing to add to the list of reasons why I don't enjoy this game. Like, the little wasp killing mini-game is fun the first time, perhaps, but as it gets progressively harder, it's just frustrating. Takes the N out and it adds a bunch more letters. It loses fun and becomes frustrating. Does that even make sense? I'm kind of delirious at this point. Iggy's the bright spot in this game right now. Okay, let's dress you up as a little optometrist, Iggy. You'd look so cute like that, wouldn't you? Why won't he wear the glasses? Is he just like, no! I refuse to be dressed up anymore. Oh, there we go. Oh, you look very handsome, Iggy. Okay, I'm gonna call Bess again. Or maybe I should... Oh, I'll call Chaz first.
What do you want?
Are you alright?
I'm at the gym. On the treadmill. It's called multitasking.
Look it up.
Well, about the letter you sent to Dr. Boulay, you know, where you told him the skull was a fake, I was just wondering...
I never told him that.
Never told him what?
I told him that skull was authentic.
What a twist!
You said in the letter the skull was carved using modern instruments.
I said all the tests I ran proved the skull had been hand-carved and hand-polished. Probably took decades to make.
But the letter Dr. Boulay got said just the opposite.
Then the letter he got must not have been the letter that I wrote.
Are you saying the crystal skull is real?
Hey, I'm not saying it's magic or anything. I'm just saying it wasn't made using 19th century, 20th century, or 21st century technology.
Why did they decide to have this man running on the treadmill while he had this conversation? I'm quite uncomfortable listening to him pant.
Hey, look, I'm gonna hang up now. If I try to talk anymore, I'm gonna pass out.
Just one more question. Did you send that letter saying the skull was authentic to anyone else?
No, just Dr. Boulay. I heard he died recently. Good thing I filled him up front.
That's so callous! A man died! Also, I'm gonna see if I can play the whole game without calling Ned at all.
Hello?
Because why would I ever want to talk to Ned? He's not exactly a champion conversationalist.
And I'm ready to boogie. When are you coming back here?
That's still kind of hard to say, but listen. Remember that old photo of a boy and his dog you said you saw in that box of stuff Henry sold to Lamont?
Yeah,
Did it look like it was maybe taken in the 1920s?
that's exactly what it looked like. Why?
Because I need to find out the name of Bruno Boulez's dog. And if that boy was Bruno, then that was probably his dog. Was there any writing on the picture?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think it said Bruno.
That's all it said? Just Bruno?
No, it said Bruno but whatever came after and was hidden by the frame.
I really need to know the name of that dog.
Oh, no. No, you don't. No more
Bess has
snooping.
had enough!
Bess, just get into that box again and see if the dog's name
She
is
just
on
had
that
a nice,
picture.
relaxing
All I
bubble
want you to
bath.
do.
She's ready to go to
Oh,
bed,
I
and you're gonna
can't
make
just
her go back
walking into
outside?
Lamont's back room.
And he's for sure as heck not gonna fall for that sneeze contraption again.
There must be some other way you can distract him. Please, Bess. I can't tell you how important this is. You gotta do this for me. Please?
absolutely, unequivocally, for the last time, no. Ah, who am I kidding? We're not gonna have any fun here until you solve this mystery, and since you can't do that until I do this... Okay, I'll sneak into the back room and take another look at that photo. I mean, I will if I don't screw up.
Think positive, Bess. You're gonna do fine.
You bet I am. In fact, I'm not going to call you again until I have seen that picture. I'm going in.
You go, girl.
Nancy, don't encourage this behavior.